start, sustain, and scale online businesses. So thank you so much for joining through today's session. All right. Thank you once again for joining through today's session, and thank you to all our participants who continuously join the Transformation Professionals Club webinars that we hold every Friday. We are here to learn more about how we can be able to start, sustain, and scale online businesses. So if you are in this generation, you must have seen the growing impact of the online space on us and the growing businesses that are running online. So as a community, we felt it necessary to invite a speaker who is not just a coach who helps other entrepreneurs, but himself is running an online business. So here we have Mr. Isaac Ssekisambu, who lives in India, but does quite a number of work across the globe. I just want to read his profile, if you'll allow me. So our speaker today, Mr. Isaac, is a Ugandan businessman, qualified lawyer, and business coach. He is the founder of 3 fully online ventures, that is the Zenji, Prepare Consultants, Ssekisambu Business Solutions, SPS serving both Ugandan and international markets. He holds a bachelor's degree in law and a bachelor's of arts from India. Currently, he supports organizations with policy drafting and review, system design, strategic branding, and business development. Some of his prominent clients include Watoto, Shem Group, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mr. Isaac, who also serves as a business mentor with the Tony Elmel Foundation and the mentor program manager with Missio, which is the formerly Christian Halls. You're most welcome, Mr. Isaac, and we are glad to have you as a community, and we are looking forward to an insightful session. You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Samo, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
So nice, so nice. I don't know if I am very dark or my face is also visible. India, despite being here for so long among these yellow-skinned people, I haven't lightened at all, so forgive me. I'm so fortunate to be part of this gathering tonight, and I am so happy to see a lot of people who have turned up, around 30 people. This is very good to start with. I like the hunger that we have. Online business is not just the future, it's here, and I'm glad to see how we can start. Like I said in a post earlier, we are not going to be talking about businesses. We are here to build the businesses tonight. So I want to talk to someone who wants to build starting this night. And if you're that person, keep your notebook close by, because ideas have to be formed right in this session. And tomorrow you start the execution. Actually, tonight you start developing, tomorrow execution begins Sunday. And I have a project which I want to be able to review with you by the end of next week. And then we can see. I will be willing to review your project for free. There is no need for you to pay. and then I can advise on why you can improve and so on and so forth. So thank you so much once again. I don't want to introduce myself again. I'm just honored to speak to you. Thank you for giving the opportunity to speak to you. Okay, so I think, Mr. Summer, it's time for us to begin with the presentation. Without further ado, I don't know if you're going to be the one sharing the screen or I have to share mine, whatever works.
You can be able to share as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a minute so that I can make my presentation. Okay. Just 1 minute. Okay.
So what time is it in India now?
Right now it's actually 9:42 p.m.
Oh. Okay.
It's 9:42 p.m. right now. I have to share it as a PDF, I guess, because, okay, I guess we shall work with it the way it is here on a PDF. Okay, just 1 more minute.
All right, thanks for our participants who have joined through. As our speaker shares the slides, feel free to introduce yourselves. Like I see Patrick Obita here, who is a management consultant, has joined through. Vanessa, thank you so much, who is a student at USIU. And Moses, who has also joined in, Peter already. And thank you so much, Slivia, and quite a number of people as well that have joined through. Let's keep the introductions coming through, and let's see what our speaker has prepared for us today. Over to you, Mr. Isaac.
All right. So over here, we have the presentation on how you're going to be able to work out your online business starting tonight. So first of all, I've been in this space for around 5 years now. Because of India, I had to become very creative. I came here as a student and I've studied 2 degrees, Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Laws. It was really a very tough place because there was nowhere I was going to work offline on a student visa. So that meant that I either had to rely on upkeep, of course, which meant that I had to put more pressure on my people back, or I had to actually come up with something. So I started my businesses way back in 2021, and then sometimes things didn't work out well, but in 2022 actually is when things started moving very well. So the first business I started was Prepare, and Prepare is a study abroad agency that supports individuals that want to study abroad. That includes countries like India, USA, UAE. For now, we have several MOUs that we have signed over time, and with US and Canada, we are able to work with students who want to do masters, but they don't have the funding. They have the admissions, but they don't have the funding. So we fund them through a loan scheme where we give them a 9% fixed interest. This is another MOU that I signed with another financial company to make it easy for students to go to universities like Harvard, Yale, and Stanford, and so on and so forth, to acquire good courses and pay back in 10 years' time. So online business is a very good field. It has its own challenges, but it's a thing that you can do whether you're studying, whether you're working. You don't have to feel like, oh, how am I going to be able to handle work and this business? And you don't have to even assign it anyone. All you need is around 1 to 3 hours every day. And that can be in the morning 1 hour and then maybe 2 hours in the evening. So even if you were 9 to 5, you can actually be able to run a remote business or online business. For the last 4 years, I've been working with clients in the US, clients in Tanzania, clients in Kenya, in Uganda, and in India. And I've never had any client ask me, where are you? Or because you're not in Uganda or you're not in my location, I'm not going to be able to work with you. Online business, therefore, works with trust. And trust is going to be built by a number of things, including your system of distribution. Before I start sharing, I'm just giving a precursor. So trust has been built for me through LinkedIn and content creation. I have a website, which is ssekisambubusiness.com, where I share different blogs. Some of my clients have come through the blogs. They come and say, hey, I looked at your blog and I liked what you were writing about this particular thing. And I think I have made up a decision. I want to build something similar, or I want to build something like that. I want to start an online business. And sometimes I'm just sharing a client story. Sometimes I'm sharing a testimonial. Sometimes I'm sharing a backstory. Sometimes I'm just teaching. So all these things are done strategically to help me build trust, because online businesses are built on trust, just like you hear the word online. Back then, we used to have a notion, actually still there, that online business was a scam. That people just come to scam people. Everyone thinks, the moment they think about online business, they think about being scammed. And that's one of the challenges that I faced when it came to start abroad, when I was running Prepare. Because a lot of people said, what if you're going to scam us? What if you're going to do this? What if you're going to do that? So there is always doubts. However, doubts don't mean that the business won't work. It's just how you handle the doubt that determines whether the business is going to live to see the next year and the next year and the next year. Prepare is now 3 years. Ssekisambu Business Solution is like 2 and 8 months. And Zenj is around 6 years now. Zenj is an organization. So anyway, that's a little bit of a history about online businesses, what you might need, some of the challenges that you might encounter. But now I want to go to the good part, which is how do we build? How do I start? Isaac, cut all that crap. Let's go straight into how do I build? So I heard you. Let's get started. So problem. We start with the problem. Today I had someone who came to me and said, Isaac, I want to build something and I'm looking for ideas. Can you give me some ideas? I told them, look, I cannot be able to give you ideas, because if I give you an idea, I'm just going to be spoiling you. Because at the end of the day, it's going to become very hard for you to execute. Ideas are not just handed out to people like you're giving out handouts. Because when you give someone an idea, especially someone who is new to entrepreneurship, they're going to find it very hard to execute it. They have blind spots because they don't know how it came to be. So that's why it's always very important, and I advise people, before you start a business, start by identifying the gap, identify the problem. This is something which is now cliche. Everyone is going to teach you, start by identifying a problem, identify a problem, identify a problem. Yes, and even I'm going to say the same thing. What is that one problem that is existing around you? Now, someone told me, Isaac, I'm going to go and make research. I'm going to make research, and then I said, nah. I know what you're trying to do. What you're trying to tell me is that you're not going to do anything about it. So there is no research that you're going to do. Don't lie to yourself. That's just your brain telling you will do research. And indirectly it's telling you you're not going to do anything about it. So let me tell you where research begins. Research begins with yourself. The problems that you're going to solve are not just going to be foreign to you. You yourself, you might be going through certain problems. Maybe you don't like how Jumia delivers. Maybe you don't like how certain clothes, your guy who you buy from clothes maybe has a clothing shop, but they can't deliver. And maybe you think if you started something like that, you could deliver. Maybe your lady who serves food does something wrong, and you think you could do something better to solve a particular problem within that niche of food. Maybe it's a school. Maybe the school van always comes late and something like that to pick kids, and you end up going late to work because you have to wait for your kid to be picked. And maybe then you decide that, okay, you see, this is the problem. So the problem is that the van always comes late. What if I came up with a shuttle, a private shuttle, and I started taking the kids to school, and I can charge parents? So a business, the problem can also be your own problem, because your problem is also a problem that someone else has. There is no chance that you're going to be there and you're the only one with a problem. When I started Prepare, I was going through a lot of stuff when I was looking for schools, including looking for I started looking for schools when I was in S4, in 2017 actually. I was looking for schools to start abroad and so on and so forth. Of course, I was learning on so many scammers. I was learning on so many people telling me this and that, and I was scared, obviously. Even when I got the chance to finally study in India, my people were telling me, hey, Isaac, how do we know this is not a scam? So, of course, this whole thing of the problem of uncertainty, it forced me to eventually create something that would be credible. An organization where someone could be able to get information which is verified. You don't have to spend lots of time going through, scanning through Google and Chrome and so on and so forth before you land on a genuine scholarship. A lot of you, I'm sure you've been frustrated. You go on the Chrome, you tap the links, and the links open other links, and they open other links, and they open other links. Now we cut all that out, and we just give you a link which we know is accurate. It's going to lead you directly to the application space. And sometimes we even apply for you to prevent that stress, because it was very stressful for me to apply. And I cannot believe how many people during my time refused to complete the application because they thought it was hard. So I started creating something based on the problem that was my problem, that I now knew other people actually had this problem. And of course, when I reached out to several students, they realized, they also confirmed that they had the same problem. So now, what next? The problem can also be your neighbor's problem. Your neighbor has something that you see always they struggle with. If you're an observant person, you can be able to see that your neighbor goes through something. It could be your neighbor, it could be your mom, it could be your aunt. Just look around and ask yourself, okay, can I do something about this thing? Can I use my skills right now to start creating something around this area? See, the problems, don't lie to yourself that you're going to go on your PC and start searching about which are the business ideas that I can do. No. Don't look for business ideas. Look for problems and start with your own problems. Best businesses are going to be built based on the problem. And if the problem has been your own, I'm telling you, you're going to build one of the best products ever. When I started Ssekisambu Business Solutions, it was because it was very hard for me to actually get a reliable person to build for me a website. So I taught myself how to build websites. I taught myself how to do digital marketing. I taught myself how to do branding, social media branding, and I took courses on personal branding. All these things I taught them to myself. As I was going through difficulties running Zenj, because Zenj was really a tough one. Even my mentors, I don't know if any of them are here, but it was a big thing for me. It was something I was really passionate about, but again, it was very challenging. All these things, put them together, I couldn't imagine a young person out there or someone else new to entrepreneurship who is trying to come up with something, what they could be going through. And I thought, how can I put all my experience, what I know right now that I needed back then 5 years ago or 4 years ago, what do I know today that I needed 5 years ago? Because my 5 years ago person would still need it. There is someone who is exactly where I was 4 years ago. There is someone who is exactly where you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they need the knowledge that you have today. So given the knowledge that you have today, can you go back in time and help that person solve that problem? So the problems that are with you or that you have overcome, they create perfect solutions that you can easily sell without having to curse, pray, fast for years. I'm not saying don't fast, but I'm saying, like, if your business reaches a point where you just have to fast and that's the strategy, then maybe it's not a very good problem. So the problem has to be a genuine problem, and the problem has to be a problem that people cannot live without. Like, if people can sleep with that problem, then, if people can sleep with that problem, then maybe that's not a good problem. A problem should be that people are trying to look for a solution, but they just don't know how, such that by the time you launch it, they're actually ready to buy it. They're actually thirsty. Most people launch based on the ideas given to them by somebody else, or based on the ideas that they're just passionate about. And then they fail to close sales 2 years later or 1 year later. They are getting crickets in their DMs. They come to me and they ask me, Isaac, I have over 10,000 followers. How come I'm not converting? What's wrong with me? When you examine their profile, and the offer that they have, you find that the problem is not a genuine problem. For instance, let me show you an example of not a problem which is not genuine. Let's look at someone who is trying to sell courses. There are so many people who are offering courses, so many people building courses. So you're trying to sell a course to teachers, let's say. And these courses, you're selling them around $250. You want the teachers to buy them such that they can, this whole thing of, I want them to do continuous learning. Maybe you're a teacher, you have developed these courses and you just want to offer them to teachers. Well, the question is going to be, can teachers live with the problem that you claim that they have? If yes, then rethink that solution, because then they are not going to buy. Or maybe they will buy, but you will have to sweat. But now, let's also look at a problem that might have people really thirsty. By the time you bring out a solution, they could be thirsty to buy from you. Let's look at a problem like, okay, let's still go back to a teacher. There are these teachers, they have graduated from maybe diploma courses, and they are looking for bachelors, or maybe they are looking for masters because of change of government policy. They should be able to have master's education. So now you yourself, you struggled. You understand the struggle it is to do a master's in education, or maybe to upgrade as a teacher who is earning a very small salary. So you know what you do? You think of a solution, and the solution is maybe you're going to collaborate with external funders, maybe you're going to collaborate with bankers, maybe you're going to collaborate with universities to create a program where you can be able to give discounted tuition. Or maybe you're going to give loans to teachers. So you tell them, hey, look, I understand what it is for you to need this master's, because if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to teach anymore. Chances are high that no good school that you want, that you're targeting, maybe International School of Kampala or British School, whatever the case is, these schools are not going to accept you. But when you, and of course, you need the masters, or maybe you need the bachelors. So guess what? If you don't have the money, we have got for you an offer. We will give you this package having X, Y, Z, and you can pay us back in this time. You don't have to pay now. We will have solved your problem hassle-free. We will also give you maybe upkeep. If this sounds like a good deal to you, we would like to call you maybe on this particular date and talk more about how the process goes and the means of payment or repayment. This is something that most teachers that would be falling in your caliber, or some teachers that would be falling within that state that you have described, maybe they are broke teachers, or maybe they don't have enough money, but the current situation dictates that they should be able to study up to master's level, but they don't have the resources. They have a family to take care of and everything. So for you, you have seen that gap and you have decided to come up with a financing project where you're going to be able to finance the teachers, and then you have crafted it very well. You have built your offer. Your offer has around 3 elements. Maybe I'm giving you a fixed interest. I'm allowing you up to 5 years repayment, and I'm also allowing you to I'm allowing you some stipend. Apart from that, I'm also going to help you secure admission in any school that you want. Maybe on your project, you have added around 5 good universities, top universities that you think would be the best. So that's you fitting into the gap that actually has people that are thirsty. But also, where did this come from? It came from the fact that at the time when you were studying your master's, you knew how hard it was. You never had the money. You had to hustle. You had to sweat. But you know, now it's a necessity. For you, 5 years ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, that was your problem. There is someone today facing the exact same problem. The good thing is that now you have more knowledge and you're in a better position. So how do you restructure this knowledge and build a solution that covers that gap? So tonight, as I speak, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to think about something. And I have a few questions here. Get a niche specific problem. What is that you care about? Of course, it has to be something you care about. Maybe it happened to you, happened to your relative, happened to a friend, something you care about. Because when you care about it, you can do it even when you're not paid. And if in business you can't do it without being paid, then that's a bad idea. If your business, if you cannot care about the problem, that means you can't do it without being paid. Then that's a bad idea because it's going to drain you, you will burn out, and you will easily quit. There are so many free sessions I've given. And the more free sessions I give, the more people have gained interest in working with me. It's a strategy. Give it all away for free. Do it for free for them. And now give it your very best. And now let them come. They will start recommending you. They will start mentioning you. They will start referring you. So what is that you care about? The second thing, who has that problem? Who is a very important aspect. You know why I'm staying on this for a very long time? Because this is the beginning of online business. The online business doesn't begin with the idea. It begins with a problem every time. If you cannot get the problem right, you cannot get clarity. And if you cannot get clarity, you're just going to have random excitement. And this random excitement dies out. You don't need someone to be there trying to pat you on the back and say, hey, you can do it, because they are pushing an idea. You want to fall in love with the problem that you care about, and you know who has it. Is it you? Is it your friend? Is it? Define the person. Your ideal client becomes the person who has the problem. Are you doing something for the sick, for the lame, for the blind? Because actually, me, I've been here. I wear glasses like you see me. One of the problems I face is that sometimes I go to places and I can't find very good frames. If someone would come up with a program in Uganda online where they have a store which is just for these frames, and I can just move into that store, maybe they launch a website and we can go there and test different frames. We buy frames from them and then we can go to maybe optician, whatever the case might be. Or maybe they even have the option of delivering the frames to you. I'm sure there are some businesses that are doing that. But the question is it cost effective? Is it not cost effective? There are several people also who buy one frame from the hospital and then it breaks. Now, what if there is someone who gives them the same exact frames maybe twice at the cost of maybe two? Maybe they found a supplier from India or a supplier from China who can give them very good quality frames such that they're able to give their customers maybe 3 instead of 1. That's something I would take any day. That's something anyone who wears specs would take any day because they understand the problems and the challenges. Now let's talk about contact lenses. It's the same thing. Some of the contact lenses that we have on the market are either very expensive or duplicate. Now, if someone who has contact lenses finds that gap, they can easily think about what can I do to make contact lenses affordable and cheap and easy to access. So that's the mindset of someone who is building an online business. You ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do to make this problem go away? What can I do to bring a transformation? How do I make it simple? How do I make it accessible? How do I make it affordable? Sometimes there is even already a product, by the way. Sometimes there is already a product for that problem. There is a substitute, but maybe it's not affordable. Maybe it's not easily accessible. Maybe it's so premium and there is a particular class market that you want to get into. Maybe these ones who have just graduated. Maybe you just want to tap into the market of women who have just given birth. Maybe you just want to tap into the market of single moms, or maybe single fathers. Maybe, maybe you just want to tap into the market of, see, there is Uber, right? And there is new lawyers that have just graduated. Most new lawyers, they don't have cars, obviously, but they want to get to court when they are smart, when they are not having a lot of dust on them, and so on and so forth. But ask yourself, is the transportation in Kampala affordable for them to do that? Now, if it's not, what do they do as a substitute? They will find themselves using a judge, a boda, or a motorcycle. But what if you came up with affordable cabs that my cabs can operate within this region? It's not costly for me to make sure I have a driver. It's not costly in terms of fuel. And that means I can be able to offer these cabs to all graduating lawyers who are working as maybe associates or juniors in the different law firms in Kampala metropolitan area. At this discount, maybe Uber is charging 25K, and for you, your cabs are going to be 10K for all distances within Kampala metropolitan area and stuff like that. So this is a problem that anyone can enter into if they have the resources. Again, this is not online, but you can also make it online. I just wanted to generalize it. Some of the examples I give are offline, but they still apply in online business. So do you know, another question is, do they know that they have it? Oh boy, this is another issue. If you're running an online business, a question which is very important is whether your prospects understand that they have a problem. You know, if your people don't know that they have a problem, they are not going to buy. They will see you post, they will see you say, if you have this thing, DM, and no one will DM you. You're going to spend time writing very good posts on LinkedIn. Some of you can testify to this. Very good blogs. You're going to do anything. And then you ask them, please DM me or book a one-on-one. And crickets. No one is going to reach out to you. So do they know that they have the problem? If they don't know, there are several things that you can do. I'll talk about those later. What does it cost them? Someone has to understand, what does my problem cost me? If I have a problem, what does it cost me? What does it cost me if I don't consult with a coach? What does it cost me if I don't consult with a mentor? What does it cost me if I don't do XYZ? Whatever the solution is that you're offering, ask yourself, what does my prospect, if they don't have my solution, what will it cost them? The current problem that I've identified, what is it costing them? For the people who want to study abroad, if you don't have a genuine person who is offering online consultation for the different universities around the world and linking you, you're going to suffer scammers. Chances are high that you will be scammed. Chances are high that you will pay to someone else who is wrong. And if it comes to online business, it is very easy to assume that you have been in the corporate world for a very long time, maybe 20 years. Now you have the wisdom and knowledge to launch your own venture. Perfect. You're going to launch, rush into it, and guess what is going to happen? 1 year or 2 years later, you realize that in the corporate world, maybe you are specifically running as a finance professional, or maybe you are HR, or maybe you are what. But now that you have come into entrepreneurship, you find yourself in almost 10 roles. And now you don't know how to juggle all these things. You're burning out quickly. And so it's costing you your mental peace, your freedom. It's costing you also your family time. So now that I know what it costs you, I can create a perfect solution for you. And I tell you, hey, actually you don't have to burn out. I can give you a situation. I can create for you a strategy. I can create for you a package where we can work together for 3 months. And I show you everything that I have done with my 3 businesses to be able to build them from down to up. All right. And I'm going to show you exact strategies, frameworks, and even share with you some of the templates that I've used to track everything that I'm doing. And with that, you only have to spend 1 to 3 hours every day. Someone is going to be able to understand that because they know what it costs them, but they didn't know it until I told them. So at the time when I'm talking about the problem, I have to also understand or describe my ideal client. What does it cost them if I don't give them this solution? If the client understands the cost, then they are willing to take on your offer. Lastly, is it seasonal or not? Some people start businesses that are solving seasonal problems. Of course, even me at first when I was starting Prepare, there were so many other people who were running online education agencies. Okay, some of them run brick and mortar, like they have offices in Kampala. I don't have an office in Kampala for Prepare. I don't actually have an office for any of my businesses in Kampala. Maybe when I come back, I'll be able to set up one. But for the most part, I've been running online for the last 4 years. We do our projects with the client. We finish them. I hand over. They hand over the money. We good. They're smiling. I'm smiling. But some of the projects have been seasonal. For instance, under Prepare, at some point, students are not doing admissions. You know, if for instance, at the time when we were starting, we were focusing on India only, and India does only 1-year admissions. It means at that time, once admissions are over, I'm just looking at my team like this. We're looking at each other. We don't have business, you know? So what did we do? We had to think of ways of making sure that Prepare is working throughout the year. And that meant that we had to add programs. For instance, CV preparations for academic CVs. We had to come up with preparation sessions for students who want to start abroad, because some of them actually need a year to prepare. That's true. They need some exams, maybe IELTS and so on and so forth. So these are things that we are doing remotely, supporting these students to make sure that by the time the applications open, maybe next year in March, they are ready. So they will pay a certain amount of money. So even during the year, we are not just folding our hands waiting, but we are actually moving our seasonality into now a full year program. And we are saying, no, we are not just going to apply for you. We're also going to support you such that we increase the acceptance rate. Because when we just apply for you, we just announce that, hey, we have scholarships which are open, or we have openings in Canada. If we just did that, a lot of you are going to come to us, and then you apply through us, but then chances are high that you may not get that, because we are not the admissions team. Our job is just to guide you through the application process and follow the criteria that has been provided to make sure that, you know what, you increase your chances of getting the admission. But sometimes these chances are very slim even when we apply for you. So what do we have to do? We have to make sure we prepare you in advance, that you should be able to have these documents and these other documents, sit this exam, make sure you get this recommendation, get this other thing, get that other thing, and let's build a folder that we can use later on. So this becomes another package where we get to work with students throughout the year. Even when someone is in year 2, they can still enroll in this program and work with us if they are looking for masters in the US or Canada. That's something like that, you know? So ask yourself, is the problem that you're going to solve seasonal? Or is it something that is non-seasonal? If it's not seasonal, the best. Find problems that you can solve throughout the year, because that means the more you solve, the more money that keeps coming to you. If your problem is just like a temporary thing, that's not a good one to start with. So now let's come to developing the solution. I'm going to run here very quickly because I've exhausted the problem and I've actually given some of the insights and that I'm going to discuss even here. Developing the solution. Once you have understood what the problem is, the easiest part is to come up with a solution, because now you know what the problem is, you know who has the problem, you know how it affects them, you know what they stand to lose if they don't take your solution. Now it's time to build an offer that they can't refuse. All right? And you're going to use several tools. One of the tools that you're going to use is your computer or your phone. Your computer has so many applications. Just get your knowledge from your head and get to your keyboard and start typing. I actually use my phone for the most part to develop a lot of things, because I like sitting on a couch and then just type my stuff out. All my posts that come on LinkedIn, I design them on my phone, my smartphone. I design everything in Canva, and sometimes there is Adobe Creative Cloud as well. And if you are more technical, you can use Adobe Premiere Pro on your PC. But for me, my phone comes in handy. And if I'm not using the phone, then maybe I need a large screen. I might use the iPad or something like that. But like, I want to tell you, use your computer or use your phone. There is no excuse. Tonight itself, after thinking about what problem, and it could be your problem that you've had before, or it could be a gap that you've noticed with your neighbor's kids, or it could be something that you think you can offer online. Anything actually can be offered online. All you need is a website and your presence online. The moment you have a website, you have a digital brand which is strong, and you have made your services online, people can book you online, people can pay you online, and people can talk to you from any part of the world. Basically, this should be a knowledge-based thing, consultation-based business, not drop shipping. Of course, you can do drop shipping, but for now, I want to talk about people who want to go into consultancy. You're someone who is good at finance. This is an opportunity for you to build a financial product, something you can offer online. I see everyone who is into finance sometimes is just focused on corporate people. Who is catering for students? A lot of students, they might be getting pocket money of maybe 200K, 300K or what, but you can build a program for them to support them, especially those that are enrolling just. Think about yourself at the time when you were going, when you were attending high school or you were attending a university. What are some of the challenges that you faced money-wise, in monetary challenges that you faced? Do you think you have the skills, knowing what you know today, to build a product to bridge that gap? Because those same challenges that you had, someone actually has them. Now, that's where you step in. So use your computer. It can be Windows 10. Whenever it's an iPhone, I want you to use maybe 12 and above, but you can also use Samsung. Samsung people are also here. Any other phone, I don't normally recommend, because I don't think they're going to give you good quality for anything. Whether it's video shooting, they're not going to give you good quality. But iPhone 12 and above, and maybe a Samsung Note and S and above, they will give you very good footage. Because when you're building an online business, visuals are very important. When your visuals suck, no one is going to take you serious. You have to make sure your visuals stand out. So a good phone is a good investment for you as an online business personnel. Again, you have to build a functional landing page. I forgot the L on that, landing. Okay. And normally I use Wix Studio. Wix Studio has been one of the best tools that I use when I'm building landing pages. And sometimes I use it to also build websites for my clients. It's faster, it's easy to understand. Of course, if you're technical. If you're not very technical, we have that service. We can offer it to you. We can discuss. The package is normally 3 months comes with a free landing page, 3 months of coaching or working together or mentorship, business mentorship. It comes with a free website, actually. So a landing page is going to be very important, because that's where your product is going to be. But don't be left behind because you don't have a website. Don't get me wrong. Whatever it is that you're building, it can be a tool to help someone. Whatever problem you have identified, use Microsoft Word documents, use PDFs, use anything that is within your budget that you think, especially at the time when you're trying. Don't overthink it. Don't think sophistication. Don't think that you need now these lights and those things. No. Use the things that are easily available to you, that you think can help you to come up with a very good product that you can push to someone and they test it. Again, I want you to use Canva, because Canva is free of charge. Of course, a premium version is much better. Finally, I want you to use Trello, and I want you to use LinkedIn. Trello is a remote project management app. It has a free version. In case you have 2-3 people on your team, use Trello as you're building to collaborate on the project. You can assign someone something and collaborate. So I want to pause here for now, and I'll let in Mr. Samuel to ask a few questions. And then if there is need, we can proceed. He has the slides he will share with you, because for the interest of time, I really want to take a few questions, and then we keep this really engaging. Otherwise, Mr. Samuel, over to you.
All right, quite insightful. If you're following through the sessions, I would like to hear from you what's your greatest takeaway so far. I can see some comments coming through here, some questions as well. And I also see a hand coming up from James Asala. Well done, Isaac. So far, so good. And the audience is following very importantly. Allow me to just welcome James Asala to ask his question. Yes, James.
Thank you so much, Coach Samuel. Good evening, Isaac. My name is James Asaba. I think I first saw Isaac online on LinkedIn, and I've been following him. I like his sharings on personal branding. Now, my question is, I remember when you referenced the problem about solving teachers' problems. Let's say they have a requirement to maybe keep their job, they must have like a master's degree. And then in part of your, let's say, suggested program, you say you are going to offer something ABCD because you know they don't earn much. So you want to give them that package that can allow them study, paying less or paying later. Then my question would be, in such a scenario, how can I position myself as someone who is going to target those people that have the money to pay from the word go? Because as a new business, you get challenges in accumulating operating capital, money. You need sales. You need to have some people paid here and there. So if you start by saying, I'm going to offer programs that are going to pay later, I think that would be a bit limiting, in my opinion. So how can we position our businesses to target those people that have the money that we need on the go? Thank you so much.
All right.
Well,
Isaac, before you respond, I think very similar to James's question. I think you've been one of those people that have said build on the go, and you usually tell people that you're posting content here and there every day, but you're failing to hit the nail, you're failing to sell. And I think that comes in well handy, even as James asked. So could you just speak about how somebody can actually start selling on the go, like James asked?
Hey, well, that's nice. First of all, James, that question you asked is a very interesting one. I set myself up for this. Well, the thing is that when you're starting a business, like I said, don't aim to earn quickly, unless you have a lot of capital for it, don't go into that venture. But there are other ideas that you can actually start which don't require you to invest a lot of money. If you want, because the example I gave, I didn't even go in detail in the strategy of how are you going to raise the money, which MOUs are you signing, who is funding this, which particular person is going to be your co-founder and stuff like that. I didn't go into those details. So I will come back to answer the question again. So the thing is that you have to start something for which you have the capital. Don't just start something because you think it's a working idea. And I don't advise you to borrow money so that you start a business. When you're running an online business, start with your PC, with your phone, with your data. If you cannot use your data and turn it into 1 million Ugandan shillings, then you're not ready for online business. So that's why I said, when you're selecting the problem, when you're choosing the problem, think about that problem that has hurt you before, that you think right now you have the knowledge. It should be knowledge-based mostly. The others, you realize I've been giving examples of physical business and online businesses. So if you're going to start something like that for teachers, to support teachers who are not affording, for instance, like me, I'm supporting students who want to study in the US. Maybe they want to study at Harvard, MBA. Maybe they want to study at Stanford. Maybe they want to study at Yale. Maybe they want to study at Catholic University in the DC. Maybe they want to study at University of British Columbia, University of Toronto. We support them and give them money, and they can pay us back in 10 years. Guess what? I am not paying a single penny to these students' accounts, but someone else is. My job is to make sure the student enrolls for the program, goes to this university, the bank pays the money there, and then we support the students to get a job after they have graduated by collaborating with other companies that are on our portal that we have MOUs with, in partnership again with these other bankers I'm working with. And so after that, we start collecting back the money, the principal plus interest. we have solved the problem. Because of my partnership with these bankers, I'm able to earn something with every student that goes through our registration. And apart from that, for us, we are like recruiters. And also we are like, we are in a position of a recruiter, but we are also in a position of meeting our business goals. The goal was, how do we get students into top tier US universities or Canadian universities without breaking the bank? All right. So we support students in that area, but we are not paying anything. We're not incurring anything. Another thing, when it comes to payment, when it comes to building a business, a new business, don't be in a rush to hire. Don't be in a rush to hire. I've run my businesses for 3 years alone, and I've actually been doing 2 degrees at the same time, you know? And I've been running these businesses, and I've been meeting friends. I actually love conversations. I've been having a lot of conversations with friends and family and stuff. And I also love competition. So I've also actively been participating in competitions in my universities and also representing universities in international competitions and stuff like that. All right. So this is something that you can still, don't rush to hire. Start something that you can run on your phone. If you're going if something is going to need money, like the one we have talked about, like the example I gave, run it in collaboration with the people who have the money. For you, the MOU binds you to give you to a certain role, which does not involve you paying, but you actually get paid for that. I don't know if I'm making sense using that very example. But again, to respond to what Mr. Samuel said, I always tell people, build now, within 30 to 90 days, get paid. It is something that I believe is possible because I have done it with every product. I've actually been working with a lot of people. Judith is one of them. I don't know if she's on this call. We worked out for 3 months, and then we were working on her book. Then before we even launched the book, people had made 10 orders for it in the pre-orders. She was already downloading cash before she even launched it, you know? And before we even finished our coaching, she was already getting collaborations from Kenya, from Uganda, and signing MOUs here and there for her business. I also have a client in the US, similar thing is happening. So I'm always looking at, as long as we have finalized the idea, we have looked at the problem, because we have to scrutinize the problem. In the 3 months we work together, we look at the problem. Like, remember how I've explained the problem? We look at it, scrutinize it 100%. And after we have got clarity on the problem, we design an offer which cannot be refused. The moment an offer cannot be rejected, once the problem is clear, an offer can never be rejected. If your problem is clear enough, you are going to build a very clear offer. And once the offer is clear, the more you show up, the more you give for free, the more people are going to get interested. And interest brings money. That's how you start earning money quickly, within 30 days. Within 30 to 90 days, those who delay 90 days. And if you're not earning within 90 days, there is something you're not doing wrong. You're going off our program, because we always have a program. Even if you have the best mentor, even if you have the best coach, even if you have the best product, as long as you're very weak at implementation, like tonight, some of you are just looking at me and listening, and you're not going to do anything about it, I'm telling you, you can never make money if you're bad at implementation. So over to you, Sam.
All right. I hope Mr. Saba, has that answered your question?
Hello, I have something
Yes.
I'd like to add.
Thank you so much, Isaac.
Okay. All right. Sylvia has something to add. Yes, Sylvia.
Hello, well, I'm really enjoying this podcast or this session. I'm chiming in from Cincinnati, Ohio, in the United States, and I'm quite impressed by the level of engagement on this session. But anyways, there's something that everybody's been alluding to, and I would like to just say it up front and center. When you start a business, there's marketing and there's sales. Sales are not marketing, and marketing is not sales. A lot of new people, they think, oh, if I just put up a website and open up some social media pages, I will get followers and they will automatically convert into payers. But I tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. So just keep in your mind that marketing is one thing, but sales is a whole different discipline. And I like very much what Isaac was explaining in your own experience, because you were very smart, right? You didn't invest your own capital into your income generation. You're actually working on behalf and recruiting on behalf of another company that will pay you at the level of your success. So we call that a sales commission. So I really want to emphasize, and I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I want to emphasize that a new entrepreneur, a new business owner is essentially a salesperson. So find a way to learn sales, right? There's so many programs. In fact, many companies will hire you and train you to become a salesperson, because that is the most critical skill. And by the way, I do have a sales training academy. It's called Village to Vendor Academy. You can look for it online. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for that addition. Sylvia, do you have a LinkedIn handle? You could be able to drop it in the chat box. Maybe we could check out what you really do. I think Isaac would agree to the same. I think sales is very critical. Whatever we are talking about here is not something that is just money is not just going to come from Isaac's pocket and enter into my pocket. I need to be able to sell. So I need to be able to convince Isaac that whatever I have is a need that can actually be able to be solved. That's something that I can be able to solve as somebody who is giving. So Isaac, I think you have gotten into depth from getting to idea, niching down, and quite a number of these aspects. And as you can see, I think it's a question that's coming through from Evelyn. So I know you have done a lot of balancing between your study and also been alongside growing some of these businesses. And you've done quite a number of work on LinkedIn. I would like you to just speak to somebody, having in mind somebody is actually they have a job. There are certain kind of businesses that they cannot run. What are some of those ideas that somebody who is employed and is looking for something extra, just like the way you shared about the consultancy and that kind of work? How does somebody jump from that kind of mindset of, I have this job, it takes my time, but I want to get into this online space. I want to be able to leverage or let's say on this LinkedIn thing and be able to have that client?
Well, thank you so much, Samuel, for that. One thing I want to emphasize before I even answer this again, I don't want to give anyone any idea for any business, because the moment I do that, no one is going to follow through, because it's going to be Isaac's idea. I'm just a banker trying to execute some random guy's idea who was seated in India someday, and he said, oh, as a banker, I could do X, Y, Z. Nah. I delayed so much intentionally, almost 30 minutes, explaining how to identify a problem. The moment you get a problem, then we're talking. If you don't have the ability to spot the problem, I am sorry, entrepreneurship may not be for you. It's okay. Yes, entrepreneurship.
Sylvia, you saying something?
Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. That's true. It is not for everyone. Someone is saying something?
No, it's okay. Proceed.
Someone is saying something?
Proceed. I think your internet was
the honest truth is that if you're someone who is looking for someone to give you an idea to execute, there is a difference between getting an idea to invest and an idea to execute. Entrepreneurs are called entrepreneurs because they have the ability to see the problem and rally all these other sources of production to build something. So you cannot be an entrepreneur if you lack the skill of seeing. It's the first one, observation. It's a very important one. Is it about you? Is it about your neighbor? Is it about your kid? Is it about, what is that you see? That one, no one should tell it to you. You should be able to see it and pitch it and get someone to help you build it. But if someone tells it to you and says, hey, there is this idea, do it, you're going to quit in 2 years' time, because you have blind spots. You don't know how it came to be. You're not even passionate about it. You're into it for the money. When you find the problem you solve, the good thing is that you're so passionate about it. But apart from that, you can easily answer the question of, can you do it without being paid? Okay, listen, the funniest part of the story is that we are talking about online businesses to get paid. But sometimes I'm saying, can you do it without being paid, right? Well, that's the irony, because the more you do it free, again, the more money comes to you. I don't know. That's how it works. Every time I've told people, hey, I am giving a free LinkedIn revamp. Just reach out to me. Not actually revamp. I've been giving free LinkedIn reviews last year at the start. Around 3 people came to me and they said, Isaac, I also have my friend, even my friend. I ended up doing revamp for 10 people. Yet my point was supposed to be 5 people only. And guess what? Out of those 10, around 6 of them paid for me to do the whole revamp, because I offered the free. So if I am not passionate about this whole idea of helping people become visible, build something tangible on LinkedIn, attract opportunities, maybe someone just gave it to me, I'm not going to take those free things, because I'm into this for money. And the moment I'm into it for the money and not to help people, I'm not going to make money. If you want to make money, learn to help people make money, or learn to help people solve a problem. Because people who help people solve problems are the people who earn money. If you want to earn in the first 30 days after launch, if tonight you're very serious and you start working on something, I'm sure there is those 5-10 people who are in the corner. They are seated in their chair. They are writing very fast, and already ideas are popping in their heads and they are starting to build. Those people are the ones now I'm talking about. If you're going to earn in the first 30 days, you're going to first forget about earning and focus on helping. Let me go back to the question that Samuel asked. I'm not going to give a banker an idea. I'm not going to give an HR an idea. In fact, I'm not giving anybody here an idea, because I will be killing you. If you're an entrepreneur, you already have an idea. As I was speaking, you're already spotting the gap. My whole point of being here tonight was to ask, to help you understand, how do you start to see the idea? Where do you see the ideas? And of course, I'm not saying see the idea. I was saying see the problem. Because when you see the problem, when you see the gap, then you have got the idea. And the idea is what you're going to use to build income. But you will give it away for free. Even the first month, you might give it away for free. And guess what? You might give it away for free for 2 months. And in 1 month, you blow up. That's how business works when you do it from the entrepreneur perspective. If you're someone who is always waiting for an idea, maybe just make more money and then invest in money markets and invest in funds. There are always those companies that can help you invest in other businesses. Buy shares. I mean, that's it. Otherwise, you're going to invest your money and you're going to kill it. You're going to lose it, actually. So, Samuel, over to you.
I like your response, Mr. Isaac, and I want to tell you that I quite get a lot of people asking me about ideas, and I think the problem is not the idea. I think we have either experienced certain things that we're not comfortable with and felt that we could provide a solution. You've scrolled through LinkedIn and you've seen Isaac do something that you feel your heart really could also get into. Ideas are all over, and it's something that sparks your energy, something that you've seen somebody do and feel like, I can actually do that. And I think that is a good starting ground. And it's not just to get somebody and somebody tells you coaching is actually doing well, everything is good. And then you get in there and the next thing we are telling you that we actually offer a lot for free than we actually charge. And that's how the business model is structured. So I think it's continuously looking around to see what's your passion, what's your purpose, what is that one thing that you actually do for free. Like the way Isaac you said, many people ask me, I want to attend some of these sessions of TPC. And I'm like, these are free sessions. You can actually come through because this is something that we are doing for free and would love for free. But beyond just doing it for free, somebody will invite you for a session. My friend Evelyn here invited me for a session with the administrative associations. And now I was going there not as to offer something for free, but somebody was now paying me because I've done this for free. And that's how even the online space really works. Do it for free. Let there be a client who sees what you can do for free such that they can pay you. So that is very important. I just want you to, Isaac, to speak about personal branding, so specifically LinkedIn, and how this is critical, especially when it comes, because when you speak about the online space, there is growing a brand for your business, but then there's also something to do with growing yourself as a brand. As it is said, people buy from you because they trust or like you. Could you just expound something around that area?
Well, the moment you have built your product, you have identified the problem, you have built the product, the second step would be for you to, you have identified the problem, you have built a solution, you test it. That's the third step. Once you have tested, how do you test? You give it to 5 to 10 people, and then you can get feedback and then build it again. Maybe improve or something like that. Because you have to improve it. When I started business consulting some time back, I was actually offering free services. I started with around 2 clients and I was giving them free services for actually 6 months. I'm even telling you to wait 90 days. I did free services for 6 months. And guess what? I was learning, refining before I launched. You see, when you rush to launch, sometimes you crash. Especially if you're building something that is going to be worthwhile, you want to spend time rethinking it, building it, taking time. So let me come back. Now you have finished your product. You have tested it. You have got good feedback. A lot of people ask me, where am I going to get social proof? If you don't want to give it for free, where are you going to get social proof? You yourself ask yourself that question. You don't want to do it for free. You don't want to give it to people to try it. Even every online business you go to, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's what, they're giving you 15 days free trial. Some of you sign for this 15 days free trial and you run away. After that, you remove your card quickly and you run away, which is okay. But I'm trying to say that social proof is very important because that's how you test. And now once you have got the social proof, let's go to LinkedIn. Because now this is one of the areas where you're going to build your distribution. Distribution is very important. You can use social media like LinkedIn, you can use Instagram, you can use any, but today I want to talk about LinkedIn specifically. For me, I want to credit LinkedIn for growing my business 90%. 90% of that time. Actually, I think I'm even undercrediting it. It should be around 95%. Because I have got a few referrals here and there, but majority of the time, most clients have come from LinkedIn. Those lousy posts of mine that you see that don't make a lot of sense, they make some sense to some people. And they have been making buying decisions based on that. So for me, I stopped this thing of looking for clients. When I first started, I used to call clients, hey, I'm doing XYZ. Can you please help me? Can you buy? Can you do? Or maybe I can help you do XYZ. That's what I used to do. But now I'm always having clients because I am constantly writing. LinkedIn personal branding allows people to get to see you, to get to know you, to get to like you, to get to trust you. Oh, let me say that again. They see you. After seeing you around, That means you're consistently posting. They see you around. They see you in their comment section. They see you on your regular posts. Then they actually feel like they know you because you shared a story about yourself. You shared a story about why you started. You shared a story about why this matters to you. You shared a story about, stories. You're building connection. People get a feeling like they know you. A lot of you think you know me, but you don't. But that is a good thing because it works for me. And of course, I think I know you, but I don't. Maybe not as much as I think I do. But LinkedIn gives me a glimpse into what you do and why you do what you do. It builds that bond that feels like we're sisters and brothers. And sometimes when we don't see each other, we even come to the DM and be like, hey, how come I haven't seen your post? Hey, what's going on? Hey, someone gets married and we're clapping and we're laughing and we're celebrating. Someone hits another milestone, we're clapping. Why? It builds community. And it is this community eventually that starts to like you. They like you because you're consistent. You're consistently showing up with value. You're consistently supporting them. There is a reciprocal. When you support them, they support you. It's a reciprocal thing. There is nothing you can do about that. If you're someone who thinks you're too sharp on LinkedIn, you're too professional, you're just going to write a post and run away, you're going to get a whooping 2 likes. And one is yours, one is for your manager or for your friend. No one is going to read your content. Okay, they will read and pass. Why? Because you're thinking for you a demigod. You don't want to engage with people. LinkedIn is a social network. You have to engage with people. If you don't engage and you just post your things, you're always posting about the activity that happened at your bank, the activity that happened at your workplace, and other than that, you're not posting anything. You're always announcing. No one appointed you PR for LinkedIn. Can you start doing yourself a favor? If you're thinking of, if you have a product, if you have already built a business, can you start writing about the things that you solve? Why you care? Why do you care? Why should we care? People are always asking that question as they are reading your content. Why should we care? Oh, he said that for instance, I've been following a story of this gentleman in Uganda. I'm forgetting his name. He's built a company that is doing Tetra water packs. I think Tetra water packs, something like that. They are boxed waters, small. And I was asking him, hey, what is this? Are they even tested? Are they good? I'm interested. I want to know. And the man came back and replied and said, hey, these are very good products, actually tested, verified, everything. We are actually working with this company and this company and this and this. You can also, I said, wow. Now I'm interested. I want to know more. Maybe when I go to Uganda on one of those events where I will be with you, I'll be having one of those boxes trying to sip on. And I'm not having a mineral water. Why? I saw it on LinkedIn and the man is constantly talking about it. He's talking about how he's improving health and access to water using this new innovation that they have come up with. All right. So your LinkedIn is not a CV. Your LinkedIn is not just because your company has a policy that everyone should have a LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn should be doing a bigger job. Everybody's being fired today, guys. Everybody's being fired. This is the place where you build real value, and people, you're getting out of one workspace and you're stepping into your own zone. You might be fired yesterday. You come to LinkedIn and report them, and someone else says, hey, come here. You never know. But hey, you last posted in Jan. You come back to us and you report that you've been fired. Who knows? Why should we care? We don't even know you. Now you start hunting and you turn on that big green banner, I'm open to work. You're going to be open to work for a very long time, my friend. And yet, if you are actively posting, there would be maybe someone saying, hey, I've been seeing you talking about MCing. We have this function. Can you come over? We have this budget of around 5 million. And you see how you just scooped 5 million out of the blue, and yet you're a bank manager. But someone just called you for MC gig because they have been seeing you also talking about your passion for MCing and seeing some of the activities that you're doing. So run your side business and give it effort. How much time does it take to write a LinkedIn post? It takes just a minute with AI. And I teach my people how to do that. And of course, I don't write, you see all those posts you see, I don't write them every day. I have already written all my posts all the way, almost still halfway in June. All of them, every day I write. As a business person, you have to write every day. There is no day I'm going to write on LinkedIn and say, today I don't feel like writing, but for some reason, let me write. No time for sympathy. Write every day. As a business person, there is no mood. The only mood you have is money mood, good mood. That's the mood you should have as a business person. So write every day, engage with people. If you don't engage with people, you're not going to get any engagement. If you've been asking, why are people not engaging with me? I am a very brilliant mind. Offline people are celebrating me. If you're not engaging with people, sir, madam, mom, general manager, nobody's going to engage with you. That's how it works. I'm sorry. I had to say it. Somebody had to say it. That's how it works. Engage with people and don't say, interesting, very valid point. Please, please, please. Read the point and tell us what is interesting. Read the whole post. If Mr. Someone has posted about something to do maybe with the future of finance or something like that, what did you understand about that post? If you don't understand anything, it's okay. Just support the post and go. But at least ask a question. All right? So take LinkedIn personal branding serious, because you have to make people fall in love with you. You have to make them know you. You have to make them like you, and you have to make them trust you. The moment those four things are missing, you will never sell, even if your product is $1, no one will buy it. I have seen people who are selling products of 40K UGX and nobody's buying. But other people are selling tickets of $250 and people are buying them. Why? Those same people who are selling these high tickets are constantly in the, you see Victoria, very busy person, but always on everybody's comment section, she's typing. Does she not have things to do? Are you too busy? Even Elon Musk is always tweeting. He's running 3 companies and Doge. And you in the corner office, you're too busy. Oh my God, come on. All right, Mr. Samuel, over to you.
All right. I want to agree that if it was not for LinkedIn and if you were not intentional about your brand, we would not be having this conversation today. So one of the things that Isaac has shared, if you're posting content, it's not just about you pushing, being selling every time, putting up, I'm selling ABCD, I'm selling ABCD. I think you need to be able to structure your content such that the world starts to like you. So post certain things that the world will get connected to you. Let people know you beyond even what we are selling, and let people see the transformation of what you're talking about, even for you yourself as an individual. Isaac helps people build online businesses, and we have seen him depict that in growing his online businesses. He lives in India. I know, Isaac, there are quite a few people that know you live in India. They think you actually stay in Uganda because you've been able to use the online space to be able to reach quite a number of people. And community, I think community is very key. And this is one of the agendas that I'm really pushing. For people who have followed some of these sessions, you get to realize that we have quite a number of LinkedIn speakers coming through. Why? Because we're supporting each other into the process. Isaac comes, speaks about online businesses. I have Rita come and speak about LinkedIn. This is how the community is actually growing. And for you to be part of the community, you need to be active. You need to be seen. You need to be seen to engage. And like you said, you're not just posting, but you're getting time to connect with people through thoughtful comments here and there. And I think that is something that is quite very key. So somebody is trying to ask a question here. I don't know if it's a question or it's a comment. Isaac, you dropped so much clarity about engaging on LinkedIn. You said at least ask a question. Even Elon is tweeting several times a day, what's your excuse? Actually, there is no excuse, like as Sylvia has put it. You need to be able to create time, even if it's that 30 minutes, just to be intentional about being able to get content, but also engage. Do we have any questions from the audience? Anything that you want? I know, Isaac, you're a lawyer, and one of the things that I think you had you wanted to share with us is to do with registration. I want you to just give a hint on, although we are running online businesses, why is it very key for us to become legal or to legitimize our businesses, and how do we protect our brands online as well, especially from your legal point of view as we get more?
Yes, this is a very, very important question, actually. I have been, when you're running an online business, we have, first of all, several gray areas that you are, I'm sure, is fixing. Very, very soon, the regulations will be catching up with all of us, right? Right now, it's very possible that a lot of you running online businesses, if you have any, you've been dodging taxes once in a while. I'm sure you have. But now dodging taxes is a very bad thing, because it becomes very hard for you to actually, work with big organizations, because they'll ask for your tax history. So tax compliance is one of the key areas that you really have to pay attention to, like self-report, voluntarily report your taxes. If you don't have information and you cannot reach out to Coach Samuel here, because I'm sure he's in finance, he can support you. There are other tax professionals that could be in your circle. If you don't, URA offices are always open. Walk in there, talk to them and say, hey, I'm running an online business, but I don't understand how these tax things work. I want you to help me understand. And by the way, let me surprise you. As someone who is running your online business, if it doesn't hit 150 million, chances are high that you're not going to pay a lot of money, more than even 500K. They are going to only charge you presumptive tax, and presumptive tax is very little money. Let's say your online business per client, you're charging around 1 million. So you see, in a year, let's say you've made around 60 million or 70 million. They will look at the presumptive tax, assess the records. Of course, very important thing is that you should put down the records. Every sale, write it down. It's very important. Don't be sophisticated, write in your diary. If you don't have a diary, because I'm sure some people are not tech, but if you're someone who understands something to do with tech, you can use Zoho, you can use IFRS. If you know how to navigate URA portal, there is those IFRS invoices that you can issue, because you might be working with corporates, like how I do. Some corporations, they have to withhold some time from me. And so you have to issue an e-invoice, e-receipt actually. You have to issue an e-receipt. So if you're someone who is techie, you can use the URA portal to issue invoices or to issue e-receipts. If you're not, please don't feel bad. Get a notebook of around 2K or 10K, whatever the amount is. If you want that one with a year and you just want to have a cover with a year or whatever, even better, because it will have dates. You know, it's a calendar. So every day where you make a sale, record it down that this was a sale, and every expense, record it down. At the time of filing your annual returns, these records will be very important in giving you the correct, in paying the right taxes. Otherwise, URA will just estimate and make you pay a sum. So where you would have paid 80K, you might find you're paying now 250. Where you would have paid 200K, you might find now you're paying 400K. So even if you're running an online business, URA may not come to you, but do it for your, voluntarily. Pay the taxes, because some of you are eyeing contracts with the government. You're running a business, but you want to work with a government agency or maybe government body, or you want to work with an international organization, or you want to work with MTN, you want to work with Airtel. There is a friend of mine who missed out on an MTN deal not because they're a small business, but because they didn't have a history. And these tax histories are very important. Let me go to another thing. I've left taxes. Another compliance requirement would be, if your online business is a company limited, which I don't advise you, I actually don't advise you to register a company limited if you're running an online business. Until it hits 150 million, keep it as a business name, not a company. There is no point in you registering a company. At least register a partnership if you're two people. or register one business and another part, you can write an agreement. Write an agreement or a memorandum of understanding between you two, and then register just a business name. Focus on growing the business. Once the capital accumulates past a certain threshold that you both have agreed on, you can now register the company limited. Why am I saying that? Because when you register as a company limited, you're going to fail to meet all the compliance requirements as you're chasing clients. And you don't have the money to have lawyers monitor. You don't have money to have auditors. You don't have, so you see, you find yourself that you see, as a business owner, you get soaked into the whole thing of, I want to write another LinkedIn post. I want to follow up on that client. Before you know it, it's June. Before you know it, it's December. And you've missed all the deadlines for URA and URSB. So a business is kind of a fair advantage to you because it doesn't have a lot of compliance requirements from URSB. The only big requirement you have is the URA for now. And once in a while, I want to advise you legally, take time to go to URSB website and read as much information in your free time. Any business person should be able to read, guys. If you're not reading, then it's going to be very hard for you to stay compliant, especially if you don't have the costs of having a lawyer to help you, you know? So keep reading, because sometimes the laws change. You might, now the registration has changed. If someone doesn't read, they will go there and they're still thinking that they will have to pay 25K. And yet we are now in 90. And another time you might go back and it's in 150. So please keep reading, update yourself. Don't just read about how to sell. Read about the laws, because the laws are very important in keeping your business sustainable. If you don't understand the law, at least every month, sit down with a lawyer friend of yours. You can always take a consultation of 250 or 500, depending on the lawyer, for 1 hour. They will sit you down and talk you through all the changes and the things that you need to update in your business. Of course, some of them might charge consultation of 1 million, but 1 million is better than a fine that you will get, which might be bigger than that. So it depends. So what other thing? I think that's it, really. You just have to keep the record straight and make sure you follow up on the compliance timelines. And most importantly, don't register the company limited if you're someone who doesn't have capital or maybe annual revenue that crosses 150 million. I think it doesn't make sense, really. It doesn't make sense. You're just wasting time. You're just bragging that you're company limited. But first, wait, hold on, register business. It will still work with the same right as the company. And the good thing is that it won't have a lot of regulatory demands from URSB, which is a plus for you, as opposed to a company. So another thing, if you're asking me now, what if we are so many, how do we do it? Write agreements. Those agreements will still be binding. They will be binding. Write agreements and use them under the business name. It's okay. They will still work. Yes, it's not necessary that because you're two, you should incorporate yourselves into a company. All right, over to you, Sam.
All right, thank you so much, Isaac. Isaac is a lawyer, and I know when you get into that area, is another hat again you wear. Isaac, I know you live in India and we're in Uganda here, and if somebody's running an online business, and I've received quite a number of messages from Indians who want to provide me services with my YouTube channel and quite a number of other things. For somebody who wants to sell, let's say to Slivia, who is in the US, especially when it comes to your online business, what are some of those things that somebody who is buying from the other end would look at for you to be able, because as we see the online space, it has opened the globe. We can be able to have Slivia here joining in from the US. We have people joining in from Canada and people joining in from UAE, and you're joining in from India. How are we, we've seen quite a number of people from other continents being able to drive sales. I have quite a number of Nigerians that have actually paid money to be able to get their services, people in Canada, people in the US. How are we able to get to that kind of level, leveraging online, to be able to tap into a global market rather than just looking at Uganda?
Well, I think that's a very valid point right now and a valid question, because many Ugandans are shying away from the global market. They are always looking at, even if they're organizing local conferences and amongst their friends and pals. Now that is killing it. It's killing it really. When we see Indians organizing, sometimes they always try to be inclusive, because the more you be inclusive, you're trying to open more doors to other countries and more people. So as a Ugandan who is working online, because even me, I've been working with some of the clients from the US and so on and so forth, you have to be able to adopt a mindset where don't think. That's why for me, I don't even encourage someone who is running an online business to have an office, a physical office, because there is a way they feel so safe in that office that they don't want to engage online. So your biggest work, why we call it an online business, is because you're going to have to spend most of your time engaging and trying to look for collaboration. So the moment you enter the markets that side, you start through collaborations. Maybe there is some guy in the US, a white person who is your friend that you've been engaging with. You might ask for a collaboration on a call like this one. People will come, and of course some of his friends will know that there's something like this is going to happen, and they will show up too. So occasionally, if these things happen throughout the year like that, you're building familiarity, and familiarity is very important because it creates likability. The moment people get to familiarize themselves with you, they get to understand what you're capable of, what your value is, and what they can expect from you. So once people can understand how much they can get from you, it becomes very easy for them to work with you or to trust you. So again, other people in Uganda have to leave this tendency of promising and not fulfilling. We have a lot of people that are very unethical. And so when I talk to some white people, they tell me, oh, you're a very early person for this meeting. How come? Are you Ugandan? And I tell them, yeah, I'm Ugandan. And they're like, that doesn't happen in Uganda. Are you really in Uganda? I'm like, nah, I'm in India right now, but like I'm Ugandan. I'm like, okay. That was really scary, because I know in Uganda and in Kenya and in this other country, people always are late. You know, that's another thing. So how is someone going to collaborate with you on a masterclass in the US or in the UK when you're always going to come, sorry guys, I'm like, I'm sorry. Unethical behavior, unethical conduct. When you start training yourself, if there is any meeting, be there 10 minutes before, especially if you're going to be a presenter. It's okay once in a while to mess up, but at least don't come 5 minutes late. Don't make people wait for you. I have seen people who, when they have announced LinkedIn events, they join 10 minutes before the audience starts coming in. And I've seen the difference between when I'm attending an audio event by blacks, some Nigerians actually setting a good pace as well, and when I'm attending one by some Ugandans, network is always jumping off. We are losing someone every now and then. And also sometimes they come in really late. And then when I've attended some of the white people things, or maybe people in the US or UK or something, people actually are on the call 20 minutes before their call even starts. And they are there jazzing, they are talking to each other. So how have you been? Speakers are talking to themselves. So you people who are jumping in, because you're also early, you're catching their jazz, they are laughing, they're having their light moment. And that somehow also creates that friendly atmosphere. Because you find them when they are laughing, sometimes teasing each other or something like that, or finding out something which is happening, giving each other updates before the session begins. And sometimes they pull all of you up to say something, you know. So that kind of culture, we need it. We may not be able to really have control over the internet and everything, because that's another factor that is stopping us from getting a lot of international collaborations. People are always thinking in Africa, internet is really very poor. Someone will be there and they will drop off. So we don't want to risk that. So that is also another hindrance, but I'm sure there are other alternatives that we can use. If you're in a place where internet is unstable, when you have an international meeting, try to find a place which is at least fair. So that's what we can do. Actually, it's just going to be through collaborations and checking on our ethics really, and engaging. Actually, who do you engage with on LinkedIn? Because if you're targeting international collaborations, you have to actually 50% of the time engage with the people in those countries as well. and sometimes even take an extra mile to introduce yourself in the DM after you have engaged with them for a long time.
Yeah, I just want to add, Isaac, like the way you said, engagement, who are you targeting? One of the things that has helped me get international clients is collaboration, like the way you said. If I'm collaborating with Isaac and Isaac is in India, I'll be able to tap onto Isaac's audience and Isaac's influence. So if Isaac invites me for a webinar and I share from my area of expertise, that gives me leverage. One of the things that I've seen you do, Isaac, and I think this is one of the products I think you do at your company, and I'll just share my screen. So if you're targeting online a global audience, one, if you're putting a rate onto your, let's say, your price, make sure that you put, let's say, $1 version. That means that some people may not understand what 150K is. It could be the 49.9 for them. And then your number, how you share your number also matters. Adding that +256 helps people, because if somebody is just using your number and they're typing in and they don't know your country code, that whole process really affects. And then, of course, there are also quite a number of other platforms. Having a website is very key, especially for the global world, because there's a lot of due diligence that you do when you're buying from somebody who is from another country than you do when you're in that same country, because you can always find them. The law protects you. But now if you're buying from somebody who is in another country, their website, make sure that it's so easy for them to be able to get you. But also the way you share your content, make sure that the content also speaks to a wider audience. Sometimes you're sharing a lot around Kampala that people cannot resonate about. And yet, if you're sharing content that is speaking to a wider audience, you're able to get a wider reach in terms of your customer base. So I just felt I could add. As we get down, quite a number of comments coming through, people appreciating. Thank you, Philip, who says this is wonderful and wonderful tips. And then Amongi, who says you've been able to share authentically from heart. And Sylvia left us with a comment, says, when the topic or niche product or service of your business is your passion, it is easy to convert about it. And I think that really goes back to what Isaac shared. Do not just do something because Isaac is doing it. Make sure it is something that you're passionate about. When I usually share with people about starting alternative sources of income, you already have a draining job that drains you, that by the end you get to evening, you're already drained. By the time you finish the week, Friday, you're already drained. Your energy is low. What is that spark that sparks you? I'll tell you, I've had a very busy day, so stressful. But when I get into a session like this with Isaac, I literally find myself, all that has stressed me just goes behind me, because this is what I'm very passionate about. So I think that is something that I really resonate about. So Mr. Isaac, I think you're a lawyer and you do quite a number of other things. Just seen that you also do something around graphic design and quite a number of other things. How does somebody balance between them being an administrator or administrative assistant, and here they are getting into, let's say, baking and catering? How do they balance in terms of their brand online? There's also that kind of fear, especially I'll tell you, people that are in the corporate sector, they're always afraid of what will my employer think about my time on LinkedIn, whatever I'm sharing, what would they think about it? What would you speak to that person who wants to share but is afraid? He's an administrator and they're thinking about something totally out of administration. They want to remain professional. They're just basically confused in that whole space of how do I break through into the aspect of content, and how do I balance through such that I'm a lawyer, but now people start to see me as a business coach, just as people are seeing you now. You're on mute, Mr. Isaac.
Yes, yes. So if you're someone who is fearing, I understand that fear because I've worked with some clients in Kenya who had a similar thing, and they were fearing that their boss was peeping into their LinkedIn every now and then. They actually were asking me, what can I do? Because I'm sharing something and I think I could be in trouble. And I told them, don't mind the boss as long as you're not violating copyright. You're not violating copyright. You're doing the job that you're supposed to do. There shouldn't be any worry unless they have explicitly said, don't share anything on social media. And at that time, if you do, then maybe you're not complying. Otherwise, if your boss attacks you for talking about the lessons that you learned as a kid on social media, I think it's something that it's a discussion you should have with them and ask whether it's something which is prohibited. At that time when he attacks you or she attacks you, that's a discussion you should have. Because as someone who was innocent, you still stay innocent. You say, I didn't know anything about this. Please tell me about this rule. I didn't know about it. And then after that discussion, you can choose to continue or not to continue. Maybe they will tell you it's not a rule that we have, but it's something that I wouldn't want you to do. Well, I don't know whether you would like to stay in such a place. Personally, I wouldn't, because I don't think that's a good atmosphere though. But I would respect the boss. Now, you also have to understand that before you do something like this, if you're suspicious that someone is trying to peep into your things, ask your HR whether this is something that would affect the company in any way or that would make you penalized in any way, and then proceed. But for me, in my own thinking, your personal page is not a LinkedIn company page. It's your profile. Whatever happens on your social media, as long as you're not blackmailing the company and you're just writing about yourself and what you do and what you want to be known for, the company should never dictate what you put on your social media unless it's conflicting with what they believe and their values and stuff like that. And explicitly, people are going to point to the company because of your conduct. And I believe, as someone who is mature, there is nothing that you're going to do that is going to be really outrageous on your LinkedIn page. Everything you're going to do is going to be done in good conduct and in a sense of helping someone out there. Whether it's going to be your personal story from home, whether it's going to be a story of the floods as you are driving to work, whether it's going to be about your dog, whether it's going to be about the summit on climate change, whether it's going to be about, if you think at your workplace they don't allow you to talk about the conferences that you attend, don't talk about them. Talk about other things that you pay for when you're on leave. Write about those ones. By all means, don't give yourself an excuse not to do something as long as they have not explicitly told you not to. Because there is no law where there is no law. Which law? And which law are you following? Has anyone told you don't post? Sometimes you're not fearing fear, you're just fearing yourself. Like, there is no fear at all. It's just you stopping yourself. So instead of assuming, ask. If you can't ask, pretend like you don't know. Be a lawyer to them giving you permission, because if there is no law, then you don't know about that law. It doesn't exist. The contract you signed never stopped you explicitly to share anything or from sharing anything. And above all, no contract actually said that your LinkedIn profile would be also considered intellectual property of the company. And therefore, everything that goes on there, you're supposed to ask for permission. In that case, you're not breaking any rule. But if your bosses really knows they're uncomfortable, I think that's a discussion you have to have as adults and see how you can amicably work together, because this is a good thing. Building your brand is the best gift you can give to yourself, because that same company is going to fire you one day or you're going to leave it one day. So your brand is something that will stay with you, and it's how people connect with you. It's how people know you. It's how people recommend you. So these are discussions. If your boss is a problem, have that discussion with them and settle it once and for all. Otherwise, just continue posting. If they are not saying anything but they are peeping, keep posting. As long as you're not abusing them, insulting them, you're just minding what is helping someone, I think just keep at it.
Great. That's quite encouraging, and I know I live by the rules that I'll do it until I'm stopped. If no one is stopping me, means it should be okay. And of course, there are quite a number of, I work for an organization that has a social media policy. And I want to say that there are people who also do not know how to interpret some of these policies. And because they're not well trained, so there are also aspects around there. But at the end of the day, sometimes, like the way you said, if you're delivering, if you're giving your job your best, myself, you'll see me posting about being one of the best employees at my workplace. But sometimes people wonder, how are you able to win at both? How are you able to win at your job, and how are you able to win with your online presence? And I will tell you that my online presence has actually helped me even in winning at my job. I was recently recommended for a training in Kenya, which I attended. This was fully paid by the company, flight paid, hotel fees paid, training fees paid. And this training is this is a facilitation certification to help me to be able to become a good presenter and a good facilitator. This is because they have seen that within me. So sometimes we see some of these things as more of we want to hide our genius. We want to make sure that we are working under the table, yet we can actually show up. I've had some bosses. I used to do quite a number of sessions around financial literacy. When I was leaving my organization, worked with Save the Children. In 1 month, when I just left, they invited me to speak to their team, welfare team building activity. Why? Because they had seen my content, they had seen what I share. Even when we would be in some of the meetings, somebody would mention, say, oh, we actually have a finance coach here. So that's how life works. Sometimes the things you're afraid to do are things that are going to help you shine in what you do. So step out, leverage online, because it's here to stay. And yeah, bail yourself out. When that job is gone, when you said funds frozen, people who had an online presence have revamped and are now running. People who hadn't started anything are struggling. They don't know where to start from. So that is one thing. So there's a question here from Fiona that we could handle as we wind down. Time is very important for us as well. So says, apart from landing clients on LinkedIn for your product or service, what otherwise do people make money on LinkedIn? I mean, does LinkedIn pay itself? Please take on that one.
No, LinkedIn doesn't pay. LinkedIn doesn't pay. LinkedIn is an enabler. It's just a platform that enables you to make money by reconnecting with people who would be able to pay you, all right? But LinkedIn doesn't pay you anything. Again, why would we be so lazy to ask LinkedIn to pay us? The whole point is get a problem and build a solution and then solve this thing and get paid. The whole idea of this call is to show you how you can be able to get paid by helping more people. The moment you help more people, the more you get paid. My only homework to you is, what is that problem? I told you I will not give you the ideas. If someone came in this call, I'm sure we were around 40 something, almost 50. I think the 20 that left had come for ideas. I am not giving any ideas. I'm only teaching you how to find the problem. I've already shared the slides with Coach Samuel, and we shall post them also tomorrow for your reference. You will find it on his page. You'll find it on my page. Download the slide and go through, because there are a number of things that we couldn't take you through for the interest of time. All right? But it's so thorough. So please identify the problem. Ask yourself, what is that I can do? Am I a good speaker? What is the gap in public speaking? Are there people who stutter that I can really help to speak well? There are some people who stutter and they're actually in big positions and they need to communicate, and that's really making them feel small. And you could build a whole business around that, helping people who stutter to speak very well without stuttering. There are people who, you see, there is this whole product of journey to the boardroom. You think that person was just handed an idea that, hey, you can actually start journey to the boardroom? I don't think so. This is someone who saw a gap and said, hey, how do we have more women and more men in this country actually be prepared to improve corporate governance in the country? We need more Ugandans on the board, and actually young Ugandans. So, hey, let's build a program. So they sat down and built something irresistible. And so many people every year are signing up. And guess what? How much it costs? 7 million. And you pay it all at once. Guess what? Ugandans are there. 50 people are graduating. 20. I said, Ugandans have money. Why you're crying in Jan? People paid in Jan for that cohort. And for you, you're saying people don't have money? It's just that, what is that problem? Is it something people can live without, or it's something that they can't live with? Like, sorry, is it something that people can live with? If people can live with a problem, I'm telling you, you're going to pray, you're going to spray, you're going to cry, you're going to sleep in Mutundwe, wherever that you will go. I'm telling you, sales will come, but they are going to be hard, bro. They are going to be hard. But find a sweet spot. If there is someone, maybe there are those parents who actually send kids abroad, but the kids struggle with receiving money. If you're in finance and you could find a way of bridging that gap, you see how you start downloading? Because there is a business string there. And more parents will say, oh, before it was too hard. I had a client, not a client, I had a person in the news who was sending money to a relative, a father in India for treatment. And that money, 14 million, swooped by someone, stolen. Now, that is a problem. It is there in the market, but bankers are there, payment officers are there, and they know they are aware of all these things. Whenever there is a problem, you as an entrepreneur, if you want to make money, ask yourself, what is that thing that people are always complaining about? Or start with yourself. What is that you're always complaining about? What are you complaining about? There is Sadolin, there is Plascon. One of them had to complain about something that the other is not doing, and they wanted to do it. That's why they started another whole thing, and they're making a lot of money. There is MTN, there is Airtel. One of them is not doing something right, and that wrong thing is another one is doing wrong, right. That's why they are both making money. So don't focus on getting as much money from everyone. Focus on a small community. It will pay you a lot of money because you're helping them solve a problem. Tonight, if you have to live with anything, live tonight and get your notebook and think about 5 problems that you think are going on, either with you, with your family, or with your neighbors or your neighbors' kids. Think about 5 problems. Then align your skills with those problems and ask yourself, what can I do tomorrow to solve one of these problems? What can I do? The question is tomorrow. Like in the morning when I wake up first thing, I get my phone and start. I can even on Facebook type, hey, if you're someone who is needing someone to speak to, please call me, call this number. You see, you just became a mental health coach because maybe you just went through some traumas back. And some of these online businesses don't need a certification. Eventually, you will get it for formality's sake. Listen, for formality's sake. But in the start, what we need is, can you help? In fact, when you're helping people, you'll be surprised. People are not going to ask you for your certification. No one has ever asked me for my legal degree. No one has ever asked me for my digital marketing certifications. They are always interested in Isaac. Who have you helped? Someone told me that you help them get XYZ. Can you help me? Yep. Can you help? That's the question. Now you have money. So LinkedIn will give you money by helping people. When you write about yourself to let them know why you're doing what you do. When you write, you're writing about yourself to show that you understand the trend in the market. Maybe you're writing about what is changing, what is not changing, and why is it not changing. You're building thought leadership. You're building trust. When you show social proof for the people that you've helped for free, you're saying, hey, there was this person going through XYZ, and we worked together for this number of times, and this was the transformation. Hey, guess what? 2 people just said, next month when I get my 500, I'm coming to him. They won't like, they won't comment, but they have seen. Now, that's real content. That's a brand. Guess what? That's how you get paid on LinkedIn. And now, don't write once, 1 week, 2 months, and then you say, oh my God, it's not working. Please calm down. These things take consistency. A personal brand takes time. It's a long game. Don't expect to start building today and tomorrow you start investing. It's possible actually, but it depends on how good you and how fast you learn. Don't try to just copy everyone on LinkedIn. Remember, you have to know the goal. What is your goal? If your goal is to get many followers, start making jokes. You can even dance. You can do anything. You'll get so many followers. If your goal is to build a brand that stands out and sell to people, even with 1K followers, I'm telling you, start signing clients giving you 1 million to 5 million per offer that you make. When you have just 1K, no one should lie to you that you have to first get 50K or 10K or 100K, that let me first build my community to 10K or 5K, then I start earning. I started making money on LinkedIn when I had 700 followers, helping people who had even 1,500 to learn how to pitch their services. That is what I was doing. Today, I'm hitting 5K. People who have 10K ahead of me, they are coming to me and saying, I don't see where money is. Are you guys making any money? But when I read their content, some of them, and I do a review, they are writing, I ask them, okay, who are you trying to reach? They tell you, I'm trying to reach CEOs, and I'm trying to reach B2B, these other companies. And I'm like, but your content is talking to social media managers. Look at the people who are responding to you. Don't you see you're not aligned? So you see, the person was writing content which is viral content only and influencer content. They're writing about the flood, the rain, the other person who got married, celebrating the other person, attending everything else in between, apart from writing about CEOs and CEO problems, and most importantly, understanding how does your client want to buy. The moment you don't understand how your client wants to buy, you have failed. Some of you write very long posts that you're writing for a CEO. Which CEO has time to read these papers of pages on your profile? They have like 5 minutes, very little time. Make something simple, brief, quick. They don't have time. Understand your audience. Who is your ideal client? Do they have time? Do they not have time? When best are they online? Read this thing. You're not going to get it in one day, in one go, but you will keep observing. And also when you check the analytics on your profiles under setting, you'll be able to see which people are viewing your profile, which people are actually checking you out. If you find that you're targeting founders, but only social media managers and VAs are checking you out, you're doing something wrong. Change it. So that's pretty much it for LinkedIn. Be strategic. And most importantly, when you don't understand anything, don't die in your own movie. Seek help. Seek help for God's sake. This investment you're going to make is the investment which is going to set you free. I have made so many investments myself in gadgets, in courses, but I never regret any investment I've made, especially an investment in knowledge. I have someone invested around $250 for me to revamp their LinkedIn profile. Of course, it was in installments. And then 1 week later, they called me and say, Isaac, guess what? I just got a job that I've always wanted. And these guys are also giving me a scholarship, contributing towards my tuition, because they said, you're doing a good job. I checked my LinkedIn and they had been viewing me for the whole week as they were deciding on whether to give me the job. And when I reached the office, they showed me that my LinkedIn looks super good. And actually, they used the about section to give me the award on top of the job. They gave me the award of $2,000 to contribute towards my tuition, because the person is in the US getting more studies, advanced studies. So the investment of $250 brought a turnaround of how much? So sometimes the small things, when you're too stingy, you can't chase big dreams when you're stingy. You have to know that everything comes with an investment. If your 300 still hurts you, your 500 still hurts you, your 1 million hurts you, you're not going to be able to chase 5 million projects. It's going to be very hard, I'm telling you. Especially when you're running on LinkedIn. You have to be willing to give something to be able to get something worthwhile. There are, of course, so many free options. You can go for them. But know very well that free things are not free. You're losing something. Some over.
Hard talk, and I think I can't add much. I think we 5 minutes into our time. I want to appreciate you, Isaac, for coming through for this session, and I want to appreciate all our viewers that have joined through this session, both via Zoom, also via YouTube. Thank you so much for creating time. It's always a pleasure having you part of some of these sessions running. And Isaac is on LinkedIn. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can also find him on other platforms. I think I've seen him on X as well as Facebook. And just to say that when you're building businesses online, it's not only on LinkedIn. You can leverage other platforms as well. I've gotten quite a number of clients via TikTok because I have an account across all these different social media platforms. So that is very important. So Isaac, I just want to allow you give your closing remarks, and in those closing remarks, you can be able to tell people how they can contact you. Seen quite a number of people ask for your contacts, and then I know you have quite a number of services and trainings that you also conduct as well. Please feel free to be able to just share with the community as well as we wind up. Otherwise, thank you so much. Isaac, you're on mute. Isaac, you're on mute. We can't hear you, sir.
Sorry. I thought I was. Am I still presenting though? I think I'm still sharing my screen.
Yes.
So my other services, that's my number. You can take a screenshot. So my other services include consulting, this very one that we are doing. We work together for 3 months. We build together everything. The moment you have an idea, not an idea, a problem that you have realized, especially for the people who are here tonight, I have homework for you. I want to review some of your work at the end of the week. What problems have you discovered? And follow through with the questions of who has the problem, on Friday next week, I want to be able to go through that and give some free guidance. There are some free clarity calls. That's free 100%. And after that clarity call, you'll be able to make a decision whether to work with me for 3 months or you want to work alone. But I'll make sure it's entirely satisfying, and I'll make sure that I give you personalized attention. It's going to be one-on-one, so it will be on first come, first serve. I think I should give it to around 10 people only because I don't have a lot of time, but I'll give it to like 10 people only, the first 10 people on Friday. If you're serious about building something tonight, start writing something. Write about several problems you have identified, and also identify the people. Like you can draw a table. You write the problem, you write the person who has the problem or the ideal client, and then you also write the solution that you're proposing, aligning that solution with your skills or how you're going to deliver. Once you have that done, I want to look at it on Friday. We talk through together. Most of the online businesses are not going to require you to invest more than 2.5 million actually. And with 2.5 million, we can be able to support you to set up your LinkedIn, to also help you get a website, and to also help you register the business in case you haven't registered it. So that's pretty much it with one package. And after that package, we also support you. We work together for 3 months to make sure that you start actually building, scaling, and selling. We don't leave here until you start selling. All my clients know that about me. I glue on you until you start selling. So that's the only guarantee I give you. So that's it pretty much. I do LinkedIn revamp, but our biggest package is to support people who are building something, people who are building with purpose, people who are not just looking for money, but people who are looking for both purpose and income. We will build something. Once you have the problem, you have come up with some solution, but now you just need clarity and restructuring and how you're going to sell it and how you're going to package it and how you're going to distribute it. How do you use your platforms to make sure you attract people? That's it. Web design is also one of the things that come in that package, and of course, business registration for free for those ones who may not have registered the business. And of course, we have to test everything together to make sure it works. So thank you so much, Coach Samuel. Once again, I'm so glad to be here. And I thank everyone who has been on this call until the very end. You are our heroes tonight. I'm sure we could be able to build 32 other businesses this weekend. Thank you. Coach Samuel, are you there?
All right. Thank you so much, Isaac, and thank you so much to our audience for coming through. We always humbled when we organize these sessions. In case you're joining our sessions for the very first time, this is the Transformation Professionals Club. We exist to help professionals connect, learn, grow, and earn. And some of our programs include these free Friday sessions. We also have upcoming sessions that we shall be doing every Tuesday around entrepreneurship, where we shall invite quite a number of experts to be able to come and share on various topics. We also have a paid program where you join us as a premium member. And one of the things that we do is we give you dedicated support on various aspects that help you to be able to pick your ideas, to pick your purpose from wherever it is and be able to elevate it. At the end of the day, our key role is to help you become a transformed professional. And who is a transformed professional, according to us, is a professional who was be able to develop and grow their career that is independent from their employer, such that in case of anything, let's say funds freeze or job loss, this is an employee that can continuously thrive. And this is an employee who is not just depending on a single source of income, but is able to create multiple sources of income and able to create definitely generational wealth. So our role is to help you transform in this changing world and be able to do greater things. So we are really very glad to have had our speaker, Mr. Isaac. Please feel free to follow him, reach out. He's one of those people that I can really say he's genuine online, he's kind, and yeah, he's a man who loves the Lord. By the way, Isaac, that is one thing that I love about you. Make sure that you continue with the same, but you also support quite a number of people, and you're also authentic in your sharings, something that really comes through. I know we've not met in person, but that is what the online space helps. We do not need to meet in person. This is a conversation starter. Isaac will be in Uganda coming through, and if you want to really have any coffees with him, that is something that you can be able to. Otherwise, so much glad to have each one of you. And thanks so much to all people joining from various parts of the world. And we really continuously look forward to having you for the next Friday session, but as well for our Tuesday session. We'll have a WhatsApp group. So if you're not part of our WhatsApp group where we share updates around our upcoming events and sessions, join that WhatsApp group and be able to be informed of what is happening. Otherwise, myself, I'm humbled to always be able to bring these initiatives to you. And I hope that we shall not just end here. Like we say, we help you connect, learn, grow. It's not just about learning, but being able to grow in the process. So we look forward to seeing testimonies of you doing great work. And please feel free to share a review. You can take a screenshot of whatever you're seeing on your screen. Share a review either on LinkedIn, which we are commonly on. Share a review on Facebook or wherever platform that you're active on. Share your takeaways. This is also a way to build relationships with either the speaker, even with the other participants, but also it elevates your brand as well. When you attend such important events and you share about your learnings, your takeaway, somehow, somewhere, people are able to connect with you and they will know that you're personal value. So for me and the team at Transformation Professionals Club, we are humbled and we wish you all the best in the weekend. Bye-bye. Sylvia, I think you answered the question which we did not respond to. So I'm just going to share a link in the chat box here.